and everything should be working fine now. um, yeah, let's see if we can get a bit more volume, and I think that should be fine. Some streaming issues there a few moments ago, because the laptop I'm using to stream is not that powerful and it cannot stream in 1080p with the software decoding thing enabled. So today we are looking at this small robot puzzle. It's just basically your plastic puzzle kind of thing. Has a small mechanical motor to it, and apart from that there is not a whole lot. This I got this from Robert Wolf. He is the community manager for 96 boards and in turn also my boss. So he gave me this at Linaro Connect, which is, if you don't know what Linaro Connect is, it's a small event where all the Linaro family meets up in a big family gathering, and everyone's happy, and we discuss what we are going to do for the next 6 months, and it happens every 6 months more or less. Well, actually happens every 6 months. Keep asking questions on the stream. I'll occasionally look up, but for now let's take a look at this robot, and I'm hoping the stream is smooth. Yeah, looks good to me on over here. But let's open this up, and you get your instructions here, which we'll go through, and your pieces. A motor and a Qualcomm logo. So I guess they give it away as like a giveaway or something in one of the hackathons or something like that. I'm not sure where Robert got this from, but if you can see, I can wind this back and it should technically move, although it's not really willing to work all that well. Yep, there you go. So that's how the motor works. Ends up, there's a lot more wine in there left. Alright, so let's go from the manual, I guess. Let's see. So we take B1 out, which is I have no idea of. So this is B and this is A. Oh, so B1 is this particular piece. So we take this out and we take B. There's two B1s. Okay, we'll take that out, and we take out B2, which is this one, and then we take out A3, which is this tiny piece over here. So we have B1 here. We need to make sure the indents are out. That should do it. That goes away, and so does this. Same with B2. That's out. And the smaller circle and the other two indents or pockets or something, whatever you want to call them. And then which one was B2? This particular piece goes up top here. Does it lock in place or anything? Or maybe we push it in a bit more. Yep, that feels good. The other one, that's the A3, goes there, and then we have our B4, which is this little piece over here, that goes again into onto the sides of the main B1 piece here. So that is going to be something like that. I'm not seeing which finish comes on the outside, so I think they should have been the other way around, but I think we are good for the most part. And we are already off to adding the motor, the mechanical motor, which goes somewhat like this towards the end here. Nope. Oh, there we go. And is that supposed to make its way all the way there? It's always hard to talk when you are focusing. So let's see. And yeah, I think that's meant for the other section. Hmm. Oh, so this goes here, the paddle doesn't go into this part, it actually should be on the other side. And there we go, this is how it is meant to fit. And then you go ahead and add the other section on there like that, I hope. Yep, all fits together. And you add the little Qualcomm plate at the back, and that should make up most of your robot's body, or the main part of its body. Just figuring out how to push this in. So for me the motor is alright, so I think I added this one upside down, so that means I'll have to take this off and move it over like that, so that the motor can be pushed a bit more forward. That seems about right. Now I can move the motor a lot more forward and finally add the Qualcomm tag at the end there. And just a second. The motor is very tricky piece. Because it does like to move a lot, and the problem I'm having is that the motor moves back whenever it gets a chance to move back, and I'm not able to add the back plate to it. So yep, there we go, one more click on this end and we are gold. Alright, so this is the main body, and this is how it's supposed to look. This is how it moves. Let's see. No FPGA today. I expected a live stream. Yes. So FPGAs, there's a lot more coming. I got a couple more FPGAs. So since you asked, I'll pause this because this has given me quite a bit of work. I didn't think it would be that much, and show you one new FPGA board that I do have in hand. This is based on the Altera Max 10. So yes, I'm not moving away from FPGAs or anything. It's a compatibility mezzanine between the 96 board standard and the Raspberry Pi 3 and the Arduino standard, and it just works for all. Like the people who made this, they were at Lenaro Connect. We had a nice talk, and they tested a lot of Raspberry Pi hats as well as Arduino shields, and almost all of them they tested just work out of the box. So it's not emulating an Arduino in there. It's you can directly control the Arduino shield from the 96 boards. It's just providing a high speed level shifter and high speed I2C interface, because to convert from 1.8 volts to 3.3 or 5 volts is a bit tough, and you end up needing a CPLD or FPGA to do that. And one of the better things about this mezzanine is you can actually use these dip switches and load your own firmware, and not just that, but you can switch between the default firmware and your own firmware, so you have kind of a double firmware, so you don't really lose anything. If your load goes wrong, you can always switch back to the previous version. Alright, that's it for the FPGA for now. Maybe another one in a bit, but let's move on. So that was only still till step 4, which I ended up missing step 3 because does not make sense. You have step 1 here, you have step 2 here, you have step 4 here, and there's step 3. And the issues I was having, because I did not see step 3 at all, because they had step 3 at this weird page. So yeah, and that is that. Let's move on. We have A6 here, that goes on top, which I'm assuming is the top of the bot, and that goes something like this. That was an easy step. Step 6, the legs, I think that come into play. These two pieces, these are A7s, again with this weird thing on them. So A7A and A7B, I'm just calling them A7A and A7B. These are and pop the middle piece out from there. It would be a shame if I break any of the piece because this is the only one I have. There we go. And then A8 is or are 4 pieces, so they should have called them A8A, A8B, A8C and A8D, but they end up calling everything A8, so it gets a bit confusing. Alright, so how does this go? Knees are to be bent forwards. Okay, so this means this goes right here, this goes right here. Let me consult the completed image, and that actually makes sense, so we'll continue with that. Knees are to be bent forward, and this goes right there and right there. It would be nice if the puzzles had numbering on them, but I guess that's okay. So these are your 2 feet. Oh, sorry. So you need to take care of left and right from this point forwards or onward, and those are your 2 feet. Alright, so there is some very tiny pieces called A89, which are extremely tiny. That's A9, sorry, not A89, A9. And where do they go? Kind of towards the outside. So something along like that. So it's kind of fun when the instructions aren't exactly detailed, so you get to figure things out, but that's not how I like things. It's fine for DIY, but lack of documentation is always frustrating. But gladly today's work, which I kind of did, ended up having excellent documentation, so I'm pretty happy. Insert top of the legs to the post. That is not very descriptive. Is it that? Yep, that's that. And there, so they're kind of dangling. Alright, so the pin goes on to the axle, which I did already kind of guess. Wait, so it should be on the other side, like that. No, but knees on the opposite direction from the knob, so that goes in there. Oh, okay. And that from the other end goes in there. Okay, so now it's kind of taking some form, I'd say. Alright, so now we go to part 10 and we make a classic robot face, which is with us since that cartoon, forgetting the name, the one cartoon that's completely opposite of Flintstones. The Jetsons. So yeah, this looks like the Jetsons maid. I'm forgetting the maid's name at this moment, but that's how all the robots in that cartoon was. And also sometimes in Tom and Jerry it was the same robot. So you can see the familiar face of a cartoon robot. It also has to have a neck. This is the neck piece. Now I'm not even looking at the piece number. I'm just eyeballing it because at this point it's pretty obvious what's happening. And the face goes, yep, the Qualcomm logo stays up front. There's the face. So there was a piece I think I missed. Is this one. This is supposed to keep the legs somewhat together, and that goes right there. Wow. Yeah, the legs are falling apart because they aren't together and not held by anything, so they are falling apart, which is to be expected. Once that is inserted, I can put the leg back. I don't get why they asked us to insert the leg first before inserting this piece. Maybe it was because it wouldn't go kind of over the let's move it a bit backwards, and yeah, this is kind of iffy. So you insert the leg there and you pull it. Oh, come on. Alright, so I think I'll have to remove this again, add the legs back, make sure they don't fall off again, and then insert this piece back while making sure that the legs are in place. Yep, that looks good to me. You can almost tell how it's going to move. Now everything else that is left is cosmetic, and that is the hands. And I seem to have missed another piece which I'm not really aware where it goes. This is the one. Looking back, oh, so this is an owl to punch out small parts, which by they means these tiny things that come out. So again, you guys are getting the top view of the bot, but it's going to be finished soon, and I might move the camera over to give you guys a better look. The owl or all or whatever you want to call it does not work really well, and it is not punching out the piece at once. Come on, and there you go. And now to add the hands, go in from a very tiny indent they have given, and then move it down there. You just keep it there. And the same goes here. You take the arm, push it down, shoot, and I have broken a piece, but it's not a very vital piece, it doesn't seem to be. So I'll probably add a quick fix to it later on. For now it stays the way it is, half broken. And I'll still try to fix the arm, or this would be a one-armed bot. Nope, that doesn't look like it. Yeah, there it is. So I'm going to keep it like that, fix it later on, but let's see how it works. So I'm keeping it around here, and well, that doesn't do a whole lot, does it? So you can see it's trying to walk, but it walks backwards, which is very funny. So I have managed to create a robot that moves backwards for a few seconds and then stops. So it has quite a little bit of wind left in it, but like that was the longest run it did. And let's see if I can give you guys a better view. Off comes the camera from the mount, and maybe you guys can also take a look at my newer mounting setup, which is a kind of a arm that is used to have monitors on there, and now it just has like a camera mount up top, and you will see everything upside down until I go ahead and make it go transform, rotate 180 degrees, magic. Alright, so this is the bot, and which is completely out of focus. There it is, fair bit in focus. I don't really care at this moment. There's the laptop. So I can, since it walks backwards, not that much, there you can see the mechanism. And it's kind of trying to walk backwards, and it stops about a few minutes in. I'll wind it more, and it walks back more. So it's a nice showpiece, I guess. You really got to wind it, and it'll walk for a few more minutes or seconds. That's about it. I don't really have all that much. That's the stream. And any other questions, hit me up. But which camera are you using? It's a Logitech C920 Pro, which got released a while back. It's a 1080p, a bit higher end than a regular webcam. So it is technically a webcam, but it has autofocus and everything, and does 1080p over USB, which is just fine for me, and I can use OBS to capture and stream. So that took way more time than I expected. So I'll probably be closing out soon until unless any other questions pop up. I'm giving it a few more seconds. Till then, I'll probably go ahead, take a look at a few more things on my list. Huh. What is your job? I work as an application engineer for 96 boards. That's why I have that mezzanine. That's why I have a lot more 96 boards hardware on hand at the moment. I basically end up making a lot of demos and writing blogs on the 96 boards website, stuff like that, documentations from time to time. So yeah, that's about it. I think I'll close it out at this point. Thank you so much for watching this half an hour long live stream. See you all in the next one. Tomorrow is going to be one interesting video if I can get it to record on time. We'll be talking about RFID and a pretty decent RFID tag that I saw recently, and we'll be taking a look at that stuff. Of course, using an Arduino and off-the-shelf RFID reader. So stopping the stream in 3, 2, 1.